Welcome to 9.3, Systems of Inequalities, Graphing. Okay, number one, sketch the graph of the inequality. Okay, so first of all, let's put it in slope-intercept form. All right, so negative 2y is less than negative 3x plus 6, and divide everything by negative 2. Now, since we're dividing by the negative, or multiplying by a negative, has nothing to do with that negative, then that means we have to change our inequality. So we have y is greater than, negative 3 over negative 2 is positive 3 halves, and 6 over negative 2 is negative 3. All right, so if we graph this, it goes through at negative 3, and it's not equal, so we need to put an open dot there, and the slope is 3 halves, up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and go backwards, down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2, 1, 2, 3, and over 2. And we put dotted lines in there. Now, the greater than means it's above the line. So we're going to shade above the line. So those are where all your answers are. All right. So here we got to get our y's together. So subtract 2y. And we get 2x plus y greater than or equal to 1. Subtract the 2x to the right. And we get y is greater than or equal to negative 2x plus 1. So again, draw your perfect grid here, and we go through at 1. We do have an equal sign, so we're going to have a closed dot and a solid line at 1, and our slope is down 2 and over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, or up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And that is our line. And greater than, again, means above the line. So we're shading above the line. And now we get into the other types of graphs. So we have y plus 2 is less than x squared. So again, getting y by itself here, we get x squared minus 2. All right, so first of all, y equals x squared, the parent function, looks like this, parabola. So the minus 2 drops it down 2. So let's graph. Okay. And let's put in, we go down 2, so the vertex is there. It's going to be an open dot because there's no equal sign. And so just plot a couple points to make sure you know exactly where they are. So when, you can do it quickly in your head. If x is 1, 1 squared is 1, minus 2 is negative 1. Okay. And it's symmetric, so we can just put 1 over there. How about 2? 2 squared is 4, minus 2 is 2. So pretty simple. And 3 squared is 9, minus 2 is 7. And you put dots representing your graph. And then it's less than, so it's everything below the line. So it'd be everything out here. Another parabola. Y is, let's just turn this around, shall we? Y is greater than or equal to x squared plus 1. I just like to have what I'm solving for on the left. So again, this is a parabola. There's your parent function, and it shifts up 1. So actually, that's what it looks like. We got to do the shading right. All right, so we have our graph here. And again, if you want to put some values here, we know that there's an equal sign, so it's closed dot. So when x is 1, 1 squared is 1, plus 1 is 2. And it's symmetrical, and 2, that's 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, and 3, 9 plus 1 is 10. I don't know if you can tell, but these grids are by 4s. So you can kind of do a quick count of where everything's at. All right, now again, it's greater than, so it's going to be above the line. So we are shading everything above the line here. All the way 3, infinity all the way up. Okay. All right, so now we have y times x squared greater than or equal to 1. Okay, so let's get y by itself, divide by x squared. And here's what we have. Y is greater than or equal to 1 over x squared. All right, so here you have your variable in your denominator. So we're looking for the weird curves that we used to draw a few chapters ago. So if you remember what 1 over x looks like, your parent function, you got 1 over x squared as well. So you should understand that you get x-intercepts, you get y-intercepts, you get vertical asymptotes, and you get horizontal asymptotes. Okay, so your horizontal asymptote is going to be at 0. So I'll just do that, and I'll just do the asymptotes in yellow. Okay, so let's go through everything else as a review. X-intercept, what makes the numerator go to 0? Well, nothing. Okay, so if that's the case, then it appears that you have horizontal asymptote, which is what we said. We'll get to that in a second. Y-intercept, does it cross the y-axis? What makes x go to 0? Okay, well, meaning for the y-intercept, you plug 0 in for x. Well, you can't do that. So when x is 0, again, that's your vertical asymptote. Okay, so you have a horizontal asymptote and vertical asymptote. And remember what we said about horizontal asymptotes. You look at your leading exponents. If the top is smaller than the bottom, then it's y equals 0. If they're the same, then it's the leading coefficients, and if the top's bigger, you have a slanted asymptote. You have to do long division. Okay, so here are all those. Now the question is, where is the graph? Well, now you have to know if you're above or below as you're going from left to right. All right, so just plug a couple points in. So when x is negative 10, that's going to be 1 over 100. It's positive. So that means we're up here, above in the second quadrant, heading towards the other asymptote. What about positive 10? Again, that's going to be a positive. So this is what your graph looks like. Okay, so now we're graphing systems of equations and seeing where there's double shading. All right, so let's just rearrange this here. Let's do our work here to the left. The top equation, let's move x to the right, and the bottom one we're going to do as well. So here we have negative y greater than negative x minus 2. And the other equation would be positive y greater than negative x minus 2. Now, on the first equation, we have this negative, so we got to divide by negative 1 or multiply negative 1. And when you do that, that's going to change the direction. So y is less than x plus 2. And again, we have y is greater than negative x minus 2. So let's do the first one here. Let's bring this back over. And it goes through it too. There's no equal sign, so it's going to be open dot. And the slope is 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So these are the 45-degree lines when it's 1 or negative 1. Okay, so we just have that there. And we have less than, so it's shaded below. So I'm going to do this one in black, and we'll do the next one in blue. It goes through at negative 2. There's no equal sign. It's an open dot. And the slope is negative 1 over positive 1. So that's a 45-degree reference, which you'll get that in trigonometry. Goes down 1 over 1 or up 1, left 1. Okay. So there's that line. It's greater than, so it's shaded above. So where is their double shading? Let's do it in red. Here's your double shading. So that's how you do number 11. Okay, so we have these new equations here. So let's start with the black for the top first here. Black. Solve for y, so don't drop your negative. Negative 3x minus 19 and multiply by a -1, which that changes the direction of our inequality and changes all the signs that we have here. All right, so now we have to continue this line up here to get to 19. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. Let's go even further down here. Let's do ungroup here. All right, let's just start that over again. Okay, so here we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. It does have an equal sign, so it's a closed dot there. We go up 3 and over 1, up 3 and over 1, or down 3 and over 1, down 3 and over 1. And you just keep going until you're comfortable with what you have. It's nice to see where your x-intercepts are or where they're close to. All right, so this is a straight line. And it's less than, so it's going to be shaded below your line. All right, now let's do the next one. We'll do it in blue. 2x plus 5y is less than 10. All right, so we'll subtract 2x and divide by the 5. So y is less than -2/5 plus 2. So this goes up at 2. There's no equal sign, so it's an open dot. And we go down 2 and write 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or up 2 and left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where they intersect. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's a dotted line. It's less than, so it's shaded below. So we can see if we shade it in red, we can do shading here. That's where the double shading would be. All right, number 15. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of things here. That's okay. We just need to look where there's quadruple shading in the end. So let's do the first one. 3x plus y is less than or equal to 6. Let's do this first one in black. Subtract 3x. And then we have our first one. So let's go ahead and do this one. So it goes through at 6, and there's an equal sign. Okay, so 6. And we go down 3 and right 1, down 3 and right 1. We have our x-intercept. Down 3 and right 1, down 3, right 1, or up 3 and left 1. And we have our solid line there. All right, let's do, and we're shaded below it. So below the line. Next, do this in red. Y minus 2x greater than or equal to 1, so we add 2x. And so let's do this one. So this goes through at 1, and there is an equal sign. So it goes through at 1, it's solid, and the slope is up 2 and over 1. Up 2 over 1, and that's where those two meet. Up 2 over 1, 2 over 1. Or down 2 and left 1. And with this is a solid line. And it's greater than, so it's shaded above. So far, we know where part of the solution is. All right, let's go to blue, and we have x is greater than or equal to -2. So that's a vertical line going through the x-axis at -2. There is an equal sign. So this is a solid blue line going through the x-axis at -2, greater than. The only time you can do left and right is when it's a vertical line. So it's greater than, so it's shaded to the right. So now we have a little triangle of the quadruple shading here so far. All right, and the last one, let's do in yellow. Okay, so this is y is less than or equal to 4. So it's a horizontal line going through the y-axis at 4. It is solid because it's equal. And it says less than. All right, so now we're going to shade this in black. Where is there shading with everything? So I need to make this a little bit smaller. So these are solid lines, so it's okay to touch them. So that is the exact shading you would need. It's kind of a trapezoid, just to draw what it really looks like. That's what the shading part looks like. Okay, let's move on. Okay, again, subtract x to the right. We get 2y is less than or equal to negative x plus 8, and then divide everything by 2. And y is less than or equal to negative 1/2 x plus 4. Let's go ahead and do this one. This goes through 4. There's an equal sign, so it's solid. Down 1 and over 2. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. 2. Down 1 over 2. And up 1 and left 2. And it's a solid line. Okay. And it's less than, so it's shaded below. Actually, this time I'm going to do shading like this. Shaded this direction. It gets really busy when you have a lot of things. Okay. And the next one is x is between 0 and 4, and they're equal signs, so these are vertical lines at 0 and 4. So we're going to do this in red. Solid lines, so the y-axis here is solid, and 4 is solid, and we're shaded between it. Okay, so again, I'm only going to be drawing arrows where we're going to have the double shading and triple shading. And then we have the next one, horizontal lines between 0 and 3, and these are equal. So here we have a solid line through y equals 0 and y equals 3. And we're shaded in between those. So as you can tell, where is all of our shading? It is right here, and it's another trapezoid. And now we have absolute values. So x is greater than or equal to 2, or x is less than or equal to negative 2. So x is less than negative 2, and it's equal sign. So less than on a vertical line means to the left, and greater than positive 2. So a solid line, it's also equal to. Greater than means to the right. All right, so here's your y-axis. Okay, and then we have y is less than 3, or y is greater than negative 3. Okay, so these are going to be horizontal lines going through the y-axis at 3, and they're dotted because there's no equal sign. Less than 3 means it's shaded down, and greater than negative 3 is shaded up. Okay, so now we do our shading. Oops. And our shading is here and here. So that would be where all your shading is that you need. Okay, so again, absolute value is the actual inequality, and then the opposite sign and the opposite answer. So x is less than 2 and x is greater than negative 4. So let's do that one. Less than 2 is vertical line. It's dotted. No, it doesn't have an equal sign. Less than means to the left when it's a vertical line. And greater than negative 4, again dotted, shaded to the right. Okay, and then we have the y's. So y minus 2 is less than or equal to 4, and y minus 2 is greater than or equal to negative 4. So y is less than or equal to 6, or y is greater than or equal to negative 2. So 6 and it's equal, so it's going to be a solid line. Less than means it's shaded below. And greater than -2 and equal to, so it's a solid line, goes up. So where is our shading? And it's where everything's overlapping. So that would be where our answer is. Okay, so now we have x squared plus y squared is less than or equal to 45. So that's a circle. Okay, so the center is at the origin, and our radius is the square root of 45. So that's 9 times 5, or 3 square root of 5, or get a decimal because we're graphing. So we're going to do the square root of 45, and you get 6.7. Okay, so now we're at the origin. It has an equal sign, so it's solid, and we go up to 6.7. So about 4, 5, 6, about right there. And about there, and again the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.7. And so now we draw a perfect circle. It's a solid line because of the equal sign. It's less than, so it's shaded inside itself. All right, and the other one is x plus y is less than or equal to -3. So y is less than or equal to -x minus 3. So it goes through at -3. It is solid because it's equal. And our slope is -1 over +1. So we go down 1 and right 1. Down 1, right 1. And so it's a solid line. And less than means below, so it's shaded this direction. So where is the ultimate shading? It's in between the circle and that line. Okay, so now we have x squared less than or equal to 1 minus y. So I'm going to split, turn this around. 1 minus y is going to be greater than x squared. Subtract 1. And that's x squared minus 1, and divide everything by -1, which changes this to less than or equal to. And this would be a negative x squared plus 1. All right, so it's a parabola that opens down because of the negative. It's a vertical reflection, and it's shifted up 1 unit. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and plot this. So it's equal, so we're going to plot some of these points, and if you're not sure, then you go ahead and plug something in. So if x is 2 squared is 4, but you got a negative in front, so it's -4. -4 plus 1 is -3. And it's symmetrical. Okay. It's a solid line. It's less than, so it's going to be shaded inside itself. Okay. And then the next equation, again, I'm going to just turn this around. It's less than or equal to x. So y is less than or equal to x minus 1. Goes through at -1. It's solid. Has a slope of +1 over +1. And so it's a solid line. And it's less than, so it's shaded below the line. So where is our shading at? In between the parabola, but not above the line.